Hey, what's up everybody? It's Scott here with your Weekly Wellness. This week we are diving into the topic of mobility and stability, kind of comparing the two of those so that you can understand what they are and how they play a vital role in your fitness and your well-being, kind of in your day-to-day life. So we're going to break it down, look at what the definition of these two terms are, and then we're going to kind of look at why this is important and how you can apply it into your routine to make sure that you are getting the most out of your routine and staying injury-free. Okay, let's dive into it here. So mobility and stability are both basic human functions, and we're really talking, these are both components of movement. So when we break it down, mobility is the ability to move freely and easily through a full range of motion with control. The with control part is the main part of it, because you might be able to, say, do a squat and load weight on your back and get jammed into the bottom of the position. But if you can't control that motion easily throughout the whole time, then you might not have the mobility or the stability, one of those two factors, to appropriately say that you have control of that range of motion, which would be a dictator whether you have the mobility to do that motion. Okay? Stability, on the other hand, is the ability to maintain balance, balanced postural equilibrium, and support the joints of the body during movement. So this is what all your ligaments, your tendons, your muscles, and everything is going to kind of work together to create that stability around the joint so that you can have the mobility to be able to do appropriate exercises with proper mechanics so that you're not hurting yourself. But let's get into a little bit of what the relevance of this is to the average person when it comes to their daily routines. So the human body is a super complex organism that is constantly having uncountable functions occurring every second of the day. The central nervous system, the CNS, is responsible for conducting all movements to accomplish a specific task. There are countless ways for the body to move together with the CNS, the skeletal system, and the muscular system to orchestrate our daily movements that we're trying to accomplish. So whether this is something as simple as reaching for something from the top covers, or whether it's something a little bit more complex, like some type of sporting activity. Some joints are more mobile, while others are more stable. Some require more mobility, some require a little bit more stability. The array of these joints together create a balanced kinetic chain to allow for movement. A breakdown of either the mobility or the stability will create, or can create, faulty mechanics and imbalance that ultimately have a high chance of leading to injury. So when we're talking about what the benefits of these two terms are implemented into your routine, we're looking at improving your range of motion. Again, with your range of motion and the ability to be able to control it and be stable through the range of motion, you're going to be increasing your mobility. You're looking at improved coordination and body awareness, improved performance or just exercise output, improved movement mechanics, so your muscles and everything, your joints, everything are working as they should be. You're not using distorted or faulty movement mechanics. You don't have imbalances going on. You don't have ranges throughout that feel restricted or stuck or just uncomfortable. So all of this is going to lead to greater workout efficiency, which means you're going to have to work less hard to get better results, which is what a lot of us are after, trying to get the most out of our workouts and get back to what's the other components of life that are important, not having to spend all day in the gym. All of this is going to help you improve your body composition, and as mentioned before, this is going to help you to reduce your risks of injury. So whether this is slips, trips, and falls, tears, muscle tears, tendon tears, whatever it might be, inflammation, generally your just well-being. You're going to be at less risk for injuries. You're going to feel better. You're going to be able to recover better. You're going to be able to, like I said, get back on doing the things that you want to do, and then getting back into physical activity, your workouts, sports, whatever it might be, feeling good. How you can apply this into your routine is kind of just having an understanding of what the joints and the muscles for that desired movement are. So if you're doing a bicep curl, for example, nice and simple, and you should feel your bicep. If you're doing a bicep curl and you're feeling your shoulders or your back or your hip or something, you're obviously something's not working right. Your movement patterns are not where they should be. Your recruitment patterns aren't what they should be. You're not going to be getting the benefits of doing a bicep curl if you're not feeling your bicep. So kind of having a basic understanding as to like what that joint does. Like, does the joint flex and extend? Does it rotate? Does it have any type of lateral movements? When you look at like an elbow, again, a little bit less complex than a shoulder joint. So having a basic understanding of what those joints are and the muscles that innervate them, so that as you're doing it, you can make sure that you're feeling everything where you're supposed to, and understanding what the full range of motion is. If you don't know what the full range of motion for a muscle is and you think you're hitting it, well, you could be falling short if you're just not aware of what that is exactly. And again, you should just be knowing where you're feeling that exercise. Another way to make sure that you're kind of applying this is having slow, controlled, low intensity practice of a movement. Your workouts should not always be about high intensity, most difficult, strenuous work that you can possibly do. You want to go in there and look at mastering a movement. Like, how can you practice something to get better at it? Look at like a baseball player, for example. Like, the main objective is not always to hit a home run, but it is to hit the ball. So they go to a batting practice. It's not how many home runs can they crack, but it's how many times can they actually connect with the ball and hit. And they're practicing, getting better at that skill. And by way of practicing more, they might hit more home runs, but you have to practice the skill to get good at it. So that is important, to just go in there. It's not always about lifting the most weight that you can, or the most intensity, or the most amount of reps. It's about practicing good quality movement. Okay? Consistency, quality, and your overall intention. So this kind of goes back to what it's a saying, but practice actually makes perfect, or perfect-ish. A lot of these motions, even you look at the more compound motions like a squat, or a deadlift, or a row, or bench press, whatever it might be, these are very complex things. There's a lot of different things happening within the body that you should be focusing on to make sure that you are creating a stable, strong environment for your body to be able to perform as best as it can. So this requires having the best mobility that you can and the most stability, so that you have something that you can push off of if you are trying to build strength and you're trying to build muscle. So making sure that you are consistently practicing the best form that you possibly can. And if you go in and you know that you're a little restricted in a certain joint, or a certain muscle has some tension in it, then that's where you need to be doing your mobility exercises to kind of prepare your body for that. You want to be in the most opportunistic environment for success, and just kind of going in there without doing any mobility work and throwing yourself under the weight isn't the best way of going about that. It's not the most effective, and it does lead to the risk of injuries. Okay? Challenge your range of motion. So you might have a comfortable range of motion that you work within, and you're able to control that and have the balance that's going to allow you to do that exercise. But if it's slightly short of what the full range of motion is, then check your ego at the door sometimes. Reduce the weight a little bit and work on improving your range of motion. This is going to help you not plateau as much. If you are able to train a muscle through the full range of motion, you are going to get the best bang for your buck when it comes to your efforts with your fitness routine. This is going to allow, going through that greater range of motion will probably allow you to have better control, better stability, and better strength, which again is going to lead to your greater efficiency. And then again, just addressing those areas that might be your problem areas. So if you know your shoulders are a little bit tight, or your ankle, or whatever it might be, spend the time trying to improve it. If you just think that you're going to keep on doing the same motions over and over and over again, you're going to get stuck, you're going to injure yourself, you're not going to be as efficient as you could be, you might get frustrated. There's a whole bunch of things. You want to make sure that you are setting yourself up to be successful. So do the mobility, address those areas of tension and restriction, and allow yourself to be in the best possible range of motion when it comes to those exercises. So it just doesn't need to be a super complex thing, but it does mean that you have to have a plan going into your workout. Maybe you're spending 10-15 minutes going about opening up the shoulders if you've been sitting at a desk all day, or your hips, again, if you've been sitting, if you spend a lot of time in the same position, same range of motion, then your muscles are going to get shorter, they're going to get imbalanced, they're going to have more tension and stuff. If you're someone who knows that they carry stress in their shoulders, then maybe you want to go in and work on that. Keep the shoulders down, open up the chest, retract the shoulders, whatever it might be to help you have the most efficient workout that you possibly can. Everybody has goals that they're working for. So if there's simple little things that you can do that are going to improve your efficiency, then it's worth that 10-15 minutes. You're going to have a better workout, you're going to feel better, you're going to recover better. And I mean, that's honestly what it's all about. It's just getting the best workout, feeling the best, looking the best, and feeling good about yourself at the end of the day. If you guys have any questions about this topic, please feel free to leave me a message. Hopefully you learned a thing or two here and you can kind of look into how to make this a part of your routine. Like I said, if you have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, we'll talk to you next week. Take care.